Arr, it be robot time. Here's Deluxe Class Cannonball from the Cybertron line. He's a repaint of Red Alert, also from the Cybertron line. This mold was also used to make Crankcase from the 2007 movie line. And Crankcase here was supposed to be a homage to Generation 1 Crankcase in the Universe line. Cannonball's alt mode here is roughly based off of a Dodge Magnum. And I have to say, this alt mode looks frickin' great with its wonderful paint apps. Yes, I'm looking at you, Bizarro Techno Skull. And you, Crazy Skeleton Guy. On both sides. He's doing a great job rocking these clear plastic windows. Normally, all you'd be able to see in there is robot junk, but because of this lovely dark tinted plastic, it's not an issue. Having this light bar up top doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense for this character, but it's needed to try to hide that clearly visible head up there. Part of the light bar and that color? Yeah, right. Aside from that minor gripe, there's very little to complain about. This alt mode is sweet. I really love it. And of course, being from the Cybertron line, he does have his Cyberplanet key. On the back here it says D2RZ. You might just have to take my word for it. This code was used as an online promotion when these figures first came out. You could go to the Hasbro website at the time, put in the code, and find out some neat tidbits about this character. So if you take the power key and stick it into this port in the back here, just like this, it's not a bad gimmick. It's subtle, and it doesn't get in the way of anything. I dig it. It's nice to have a little extra firepower in your alt mode. To reload the gimmick, just simply bring the guns back and push the sides in. Other action features include it being a car, and it rolls. So I'm just wondering, does this count as a Gerwalk mode? On to the robot mode. The transformation is an odd affair, in which you bring the front and rear bottom halves of the car together to form the legs. Then it's just a simple matter of folding and unfolding the rest of it. I do find a lot of the transformation joints to be a bit snug, but overall it's a lot of fun to transform. It has an average transformation time of about a minute. So here he is, Cannonball, Captain of the Sea Slag. That's right, he's a frickin' pirate. I love the look of this robot mode. I'm definitely digging these chunky legs. And the door shoulders, I mean, check out that tat. His back even looks good for the same reason. The robot mode does look a little dorky, but I completely blame that on Red Alert. His gimmick works well in this mode too. It's the same affair of putting the same key in the same port. And now he's got twin-mounted shoulder cannons. It's still nice and subtle in this mode, and it looks good. I mean, what isn't to like about twin shoulder cannons? I mean, check those out. Those are rad. For other weapons, he's got this blaster-looking left arm here, but that's not all. Open these little bits right here, and you get this hammerhead. You also get this claw bit. And both the claw and the hammer will quite happily plug in here. The claw bit even has some articulation to it. I think the claw looks a bit weird, but maybe that's just me. I don't know. Now let's put the hammer on there. I think the hammer looks kind of cool. It's like a crude melee weapon. I can totally see him knocking the head off of some robot or other with that thing. Unfortunately, he's not up for much for articulation. 360-degree head, ball-jointed shoulders, 90-degree elbows, 90-degree wrist articulation, 0 waist joint, 2-axis hips, back and forth knees, and each of these 4 toes are articulate. He really could have used a bicep and a thigh swivel. And unfortunately, he's not much in the way of action shots. What you've been seeing so far is about as cool as it gets. Final thoughts? I love this figure. Yeah, he's got a bit of a dorky shape in robot mode. And yeah, he's got subpar articulation. And yeah, his head is clearly visible in vehicle mode. But come on, he's a pirate! This is a great example of how to redo a kind of okay mold into something that is excellent. I'd expect to pay about 15 or 20 bucks for him, and he's totally worth it. I recommend picking him up. Alright, thanks for checking out number 5. I've had an awesome time, and I be hoping ye be having one too.